In today's video, I'm going through 5 watch brands that's my favorite right now that I can afford. So in this list, there's not going to be AP and Patek and things of that nature and that caliber, but I do love those watches. Those I would consider grill watches. So the 5 that I'm going to list are ones that I can afford, that I love. So give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into this video. So in no particular order of favorite to least favorite, but let's just start with IWC. I love IWC because they're pretty much in the price range where it's affordable for like being entry level, and of course it runs all the way up to where you may not be able to afford it. But the quality of watches that they manufacture, and they have a strong history where you could definitely spend a lifetime learning about different pieces and the reason why a watch was developed back, let's say, in the 40s and 50s. So they have strong history, great design, and I just love them as a whole, as a brand. Next will be Rolex. Rolex was my first high-end luxury piece, but today, and as recent for the past couple of months, I've been losing that love. Rolex has been starting to be like that woman, that girl that you're not going to take serious, but you're just going to have fun with. That's where Rolex is in my eyes today for me. Maybe that might change. And I need to mention that I focus mostly on the vintage. I love the vintage parts of all these watch brands, but I also appreciate the modern because I just love them that much. But back to Rolex. Rolex have so many different models that I love, that I think are well designed, but as a whole, under the umbrella of Rolex, they're changing. The chemistry between us is not working out, so Rolex is just losing my love, but I still love it overall. Next would be Tutor. Now Tutor is like the little brother of Rolex, but I love Tutor a little bit more than Rolex right now. Based on the design of the Tutor watches, it's a little bit more unique and fun. I would say Rolex is a little bit more, they're trying to play it safe and be serious, but Tutor, especially like the Black Bay 58, that was one of the pieces when it was launched, I had the opportunity to pick up, and I was in between getting it with the bracelet or getting it with the NATO strap, the metal bracelet or the strap. And I was just like on the fence with it. And I think back then is when I was trying to decide on a Rolex, between a Rolex and a Tutor, and I ended up going with a Rolex. Today, I would have picked up that Tutor Black Bay 58. Perfect size, it has that vintage aesthetic that I love about it, and yeah, regrets. Next would be Cartier. If I'm pronouncing that right, somebody corrected me before, but I love the design of many of their watches, from the Crash to the Tank to the Santos. They're well-designed watches. They may be in that fashion watch category, but through history, they really proved that they have like a strong lineage. They're like a Porsche, where the design, you can see it from the beginning till today. You can identify a Cartier without the actual brand label stamped on it, and I enjoy that part of it. And I believe Cartier was one of the first actual wristwatches from Santos Dumont, because he wanted to design a watch for flying. If you want to go into the details of that story, you could of course Google it. And last but not least is Omega. I've owned Omega Seamasters, Omega Constellations, and I'm trying to get to the point where I can get a Speedmaster. It's funny, like Speedmasters was in my spotlight a few years ago when they were affordable, and now they're just skyrocketed because of the hype and the popularity in it. The one thing that diverted me from it back then was the size. I was on the fence between getting the regular Speedmaster size to the reduced, and then after doing some research and in the forums, people were saying that the reduced is like not the real Speedmaster, not the real Speedy. So I kind of shifted, because my wrist size is decent. I have a 7-inch wrist, which could fit a Speedmaster perfectly, but in my eyes, that's a little bit too large for my wrist. Most people would be like, oh, that's perfect, because I'm 6'2" and 205 pounds, but in my eyes, like I said, wasn't for me. But yeah, Omega, the history, the different specs and designs from the Constellation with the Pipan dial, that's more vintage, guys. And even the modern Constellations, the design of the bracelet, I'll put some up on the screen. The two-tone model of it, even the stainless steel is just perfect. And from the retailer's perspective, the AD, wonderful treatment, great service. I like the brand as a whole, not just the watches, based on the design and the movement. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I want you guys to comment down below, what's your top 5 watch brands today, and the reason why, if you want to go into details. So thanks for watching. Give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, guys. I appreciate the new subscribers in the past month or two. We're growing. And yeah, so also follow me on Instagram, mentorship.ceo, and stay tuned for some more videos.